Sitting here with my dear friend Michael Jacobs for our second talk. You came all the way from Amsterdam, the main city, how do you call it, capital city of Holland, to talk about something we talked about once before.
And in Dutch.
In Dutch.
Right.
And you call it the truth of who. What is the truth of who about?
Well, about who?
It's about who. Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Whose truth? You know, that in English you would say whose truth.
Yeah.
And then you would write whose truth either with a question mark or with an exclamation mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whose truth are you talking about? Or in a more direct way, who is talking? You know, who says these things? Who believes these things? To correct the false suggestion that what you say or observe or do is more important than who you are. You should correct that false impression right away. Who you are determines what you do, what you think, what you believe. So who you are is more important.
Yeah, but how do I find out who I am? Or what I am, who I am?
Immediately and right there, you apply the question. Who wants to know?
Yeah.
Who wants to know who he is?
Me.
Right. So then you have the answer.
The answer is in the question.
Always. The question and the answer define each other. They're like two sides of a coin.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no answer without there is no question without an answer.
Of course.
There is no a day without night.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no practice, like a practical problem, without a theory that makes that problem or that generates that problem. There are no there is no practical world without a theory at its foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go back to the foundation, and in the best case you want to go back to the founder of your dream world. Guess who that is? You know, you want to, when you are at night, when you're dreaming, you don't have this question.
Who is dreaming?
Yeah, you don't have this question. You're dreaming.
Yeah.
At no point do you distinguish between yourself and your dream.
Yeah.
You're fully
engaged.
Yeah, it's your dream. You have no question about it.
No.
You don't whisper to yourself in your dream, "Hey, this is a strange dream. I need to correct my dream.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have another dream." No, you build your dream, you do it, and then at some point you wake up.
And you realize.
And you notice, wow, that was just a dream. And then you continue. Now, the interesting thing, of course, is that the distinction between dreaming and thinking has no weight, has no dimensions. The distinction between dreaming and thinking is not concrete. You cannot go to the store and say, "Can I please have the difference between dreaming and thinking?" They say, "Sir, that's an abstract idea. It's a mental concept. It exists only in your imagination." So dreaming is a form of thinking, and thinking is a form of dreaming. And who determines the content
Yeah.
of the dream or of the thoughts. When you confirm that, when you acknowledge that, then you are talking with the creator of your adventures, of your feelings, of your experiences, your dreams, your realities. The creator is the one who has these ideas which your experience, your feelings, your adventures are based upon. They don't exist without you. There's no dream without you dreaming it. So there is this whole New Age movement that is deceiving people. No, it's not bad to be deceived. If you want to be deceived, that's fine. It's a form of a dream. Oh, I will deceive myself. I will tell lies to myself. That's an interesting dream, an interesting story. And the content of the New Age dream is that. Where was I going?
Yeah, the New Age movement tells people life is what happens to you.
That it is separate from you. That you are here and the dream or the world or the universe is somewhere else. Yeah. That cannot happen.
Why not?
Like I just said to you, when you dream at night, you don't say, it's only a dream, it's separate from me. Yeah. You are fully, like you said, engaged. Yeah. You are part of it. You are, the feelings are real, and the people that you meet, and the language that you speak, it's all real. I sometimes dream in languages which I don't know. And it's all very real. I don't understand what's happening there, but it's very real. I'm speaking in Spanish or in Russian, and it's very, very real. And then when I wake up, I say, well, I didn't understand what happened, but I know it's my dream.
Yeah.
And many in the New Age have sort of, or the entire movement is the very word New Age, as if the old age is bad or not good enough or something. We must have a new age. All ages are imaginary. This is, we are not traveling through the age or through time. Time is traveling through us. The whole idea that one moment exists separate from the next moment is a fantasy. What, is there a wall between 12 o'clock at night and 1 minute past 12? Is there a barrier? Must you show your passport to enter the next day? What is this nonsense?
Yeah.
So this is a story, a fairy tale that we tell the children. We say, after Tuesday comes Wednesday. But it's a story.
Yeah, it's a mental construct.
It's a mental construct. So not we are traveling from Tuesday to Wednesday. Tuesday is leaving us, the idea of Tuesday is leaving us, or we eliminate it, and we generate this idea of Wednesday coming towards us. But we remain stable. We don't move at all, not an inch.
Never.
Never, ever.
You don't travel.
We are not born, we don't die.
Wow. That's quite something.
Of course, because time and space are both mental concepts. Yeah. They're legitimate, but we shouldn't, going back to the beginning of our talk, we shouldn't pretend, or when we have important things to do, we shouldn't deceive ourselves by saying that our world, our time, space, dream world, is more real than we who generate it. We are more real. We are the ones.
No existence without us.
Well, existence is a misleading concept
again.
It's a metaphor. It comes from exist. Exist is a Latin word which means to stand out You know, that it assumes, it presumes, it suggests to you that there is something,
Yeah,
and that you stand apart from that. Well, yeah, it's a nice fairy tale, but it cannot be.
So no existence.
In order to be no existence, there must be existence.
Yeah.
But existence is a metaphor
For what?
for, or an excuse or a justification for what you do. You say, well, I made this mistake, but I did it because I exist. No, you made this mistake. Be honest. Don't find a justification with some, fancy, semi scientific word called existence. Oh, the energy made me do it. Oh, the devil made me. Whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my education made me. My parents, my history, my past. These are all metaphors.
Yeah.
These are all abstract words, which are fine, but you shouldn't use them as an excuse for your failings or the things that you did.
And something like it had to be, that's something you hear a lot in your
Yeah,
advice.
there's no it.
There's no it.
I mean, it's a nice thing to say, of course, go ahead,
Yeah.
say things,
Yeah.
but understand who is the sayer.
I am.
Yeah, there is no, it's this fairy tale. It had to be, or it was my karma,
Yeah.
or it was in the stars, or something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we use these words, but if your car is stolen or your marriage falls apart, you will not use that expression. You will immediately go back and either you will say, they did it to me, or you will say, it's my fault. But you will not say, it happened. Things happened. My car was stolen. Yeah, things happen. Nah, you won't.
And what about Advaita teachers like Tony Parsons who tell me there is no world, nothing ever happened?
Yeah, he's denying.
What is he denying?
That he is the source of the idea that there is either a world or not a world. That he distinguishes between yes and no, between light and dark, between himself and the world. He denies that. It gives him a good feeling, and he gets rooms full of people. But it's not honest. And you see it when you ask him. You see that he smiles about it in a way that is not a happy smile. It's sort of a.
And Michael, some Advaita teachers tell me it's both. It's a paradox. It's both real and unreal at the same time.
Yeah, but there is no. But they forget to tell you, or they omit mentioning that they introduced this idea that the abstract notion of time is real, but it isn't. It's an abstract notion. Not two things can happen in an abstract notion. They don't happen at all.
Yeah.
It's like as if I tell you we have two elephants in this room. One is blue and the other is pink. You say, come on, we don't have elephants in this room. Yeah, but they happen simultaneously. No, there
are no elephants.
There are no elephants.
Yeah.
So, but I don't say it in order to
correct or judge.
Yeah, that would not be nice. It would not be a nice thing to do. I'm saying that if you want to solve the problems of your dream world, well, then you better go back and you say who generates them, instead of saying no. There is hunger and there is satisfaction. There is poverty and there is wealth.
They need each other, they tell me.
If you want to solve poverty, then your first step is to say, I made the distinction between the two, and then I chose, which didn't really, I said, I want to have nothing to do with poverty. I will steal as much as I can in a direct way or indirect way via taxes or whatever, or living in a country where they keep they do all kind of tricks to be a wealthy country, so that you don't have to face your own poverty of mind, your poor spirit. So if you want to solve the material poverty in the world, which is vast, like more than half of the population of the world is poor, then you have to understand that the story of there are rich people and poor people is based on a distinction which you are the author of. Otherwise, if the problem that you want to solve is not yours, you have no authority to solve it.
Yeah, it's out of my hands.
It's not yours. You can only drive the car that you're sitting in. You cannot drive the car that you're not sitting in. Okay?
So first claim the car.
First say, this is my car, and I will do everything that I can to drive it in a way that there are no accidents. But then you are both the creator and the eliminator of problems, of conflicts, of issues. Then you are no longer in a fantasy that somebody else created the problem and you, the victim, have to solve it.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. Then you are honest. You say, no, this is my problem. I want to solve it. I want to make it mine. I will talk to the people that are involved in this problem. I'm not higher or lower than they, and I want to, together with them, create a discussion and a deadline to solve this problem. By when will we have solved the problem?
Yeah.
Whom do we need to talk to? Let's make up a list of the people who are involved here. Then there is no longer a problem. Then there's a program. Okay, we have such and such numbers now, and by this and this date we want to have such and such lower numbers now. You know, then like of road traffic accidents, or people who are who die of medical mistakes in hospitals. There's many of them. You know, these are numbers. You can say, okay, I think it's silly that people go to a hospital and then they die because of a medical mistake. You would almost think they better not go to the hospital than they'd be alive. You know, Of course that's a little simplified, but you want to bring that number down. That is in your dream world, in your reality, what you call reality. That's a real number. Such and such. I think in Holland it is. I think 20,000 people who die every year in hospitals because of mistakes. They get the wrong dose, the wrong medication, whatever.
Wow.
So either it's people who die or it's accidents that happen. I'm not quite sure, but a large number, thousands and thousands. So you want to bring that number down. You can only bring that number down by honestly saying, this is my number, this is my issue, this is my problem. I am as if related to all the people that are in the hospital, and I want them to get out of the hospital healthy. And then you talk to the relevant people, you get a group of people together, you make a list, you make yourself a deadline. You say, by then and then we will have brought the number from X down to Y. Mm-hmm. And this is realistic. If you don't do that, it's like crystal ball. It's like, well, we hope it will happen, but then there is an it. But when you are a mature, responsible person, you say, no, I will make it happen. It's my issue. And then you will do the things that fit your timeline. And when you're done, you're done. And then you go to the next problem. Yeah. That's what mature people do.
Can you tell me something about the mirror? You tell me sometimes, also when we're sitting downstairs, that the world is nothing but a mirror that reflects back to me what my assumptions are, or what I think. I get reflected back immediately and all the time, not sometimes. Can you tell something about that.
Yeah, like to dream, like just like I said, that between thinking and dreaming, there is no real concrete gap. There is no wall between them to which you must pass through. So just as you will not, while dreaming, say, "Nah, this dream, nah, this is an impossible dream. No, I take distance from this dream. No, this I don't accept this dream." That will not happen while you're dreaming. Well, the same way when you're so-called not dreaming, when you're just thinking and
awake.
observing, and you're so-called awake, the same thing. To say, no, I don't accept this, I don't accept that, doesn't make it undone. It's still there.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean with this this denial that people have, to say, I'm against this. Yeah, but it's your dream.
Yeah. So fix it.
When you acknowledge that it's your dream, there is nothing to fix.
Yeah. It's all fine.
When you're asleep
Yeah.
and you dream,
You don't fix anything.
you don't fix anything because you just dream.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
things happen because you are the one who pulls the strings in your dream, and you don't fight the idea that you pull the strings.
Yeah.
You meet all kind of people. Sometimes when I have lucid dreams, just before I fall asleep, I have lucid dreams. I lie there rolling with laughter in my bed, because I have these strange fantasies, these strange dreams,
Yeah.
and I'm still awake, and I have these dreams, and it's so funny what I do there.
Yeah.
You know, the same as here. I just make up stories, and they're funny stories. I have fun with myself.
Yeah. But where does it come from? Is it generated by the brain? There's no where.
Right. Who asked the question?
Yeah. I.
And
Yeah.
who is the one who finds
Yeah.
the answer?
So I'm the puppet master.
Well, there are no puppets separate from you.
Okay. So I'm the watcher. I'm the creator.
You are the source of all these ideas, such as watcher, creator, observer, puppet master. They pass through. They, they come and they go.
Yeah.
You create them one after another.
Yeah.
But you remain. You are real. They are not.
Ah. Yeah.
This idea, puppet master, can you go to the store and say, "Can I have a puppet master, please? Can I have 2 observers?"
Yeah.
There's no such thing. These are metaphors. They all, when you point like that, they all point to you. When you say, "I am the observer,"
Yeah.
well, guess who?
Yeah.
It points to you. So all language is thought-based, is image-based. The world is created, we are created, in accordance with an image. Guess who is the creator of the image?
Yeah. So it's all imaginary.
Oh, is that new for you?
No, but still, I find it reassuring.
Some people say it's an illusion.
Yeah.
But that is a little deceptive, because the question is, whose illusion is it? So sometimes you can say it's illusory.
Yeah.
That is closer to home, or imaginary. Then you understand, there's somebody who's doing the imagining here, and it isn't him or her.
Yeah.
So what I do to quickly come back to the source is to simply state out loud, whenever I have a situation that I'm slightly lost or confused, or I wonder what's my next step or something, I quickly simply confirm who has an experience with a exclamation mark. And then I understand, This is an experience, like in a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this experience. Oh, great.
So let's say, Michael, you go out and you miss the bus. Are you just imagining that you are missing a bus?
That would be an example of a situation where I can quickly, instead of wondering who is at fault and wow, what will happen with the rest of my day or my life, or wow, now everything collapses, in order to not go there, which is, it's a legitimate story, but I'm the storyteller.
Yeah.
I can quickly say who has an experience, or all experiences belong to me, or this is my dream.
Yeah.
Somehow to quickly acknowledge that instead of blaming and judging somebody else or myself, which is very easy to do, simply confirming, oh yeah, this is my dream. This is really my dream right now.
No problem. Then, if you realize again
that when this is really my dream, then I will, the road will be open again to find that I have an interesting book which I brought with me in my bag. And I can sit and wait for the next bus while reading my book, or check my phone or something.
Yeah.
And I don't go in the who is to blame and who is at fault and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's not a fact that you missed the bus. That's what we make of it.
There is one fact.
And that is?
Who?
Who? Who missed the bus?
No.
Who has the experience that the bus is missed?
Yes, in specific, but in general,
yeah.
Who is the source of his experiences?
And with a dot, not with a question mark.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you would say you can say I'm the source. You can also say I'm the source, but then then it is. Then you could have a fight with yourself. No, I'm not the source. The bus company is the source.
Yeah.
That I and you and he and she and all that. So it's more neutral to simply say, because it applies both to you and to anybody else, to say who has this experience.
And who is impersonal. If there's no in who, there's no sense of.
Well, it's very personal. It applies to you, but it takes the blame out by simply making the statement. Now, after doing it a few times, you use other formulas, by missing does not exist separate from hitting. Since you separate hitting from missing, you experience the consequence of this difference, of this distinction. And you can correct or nullify or render this distinction harmless by making the truthful statement, missing is not separate from hitting. And then the next time you may not have to miss the bus.
Yeah.
Because you will have entered sort of a new paradigm in which hitting and missing are not in conflict with each other.
Yeah.
Then you will not even be upset. You will come to the bus and you say, oh, I have 10 minutes time. Great, I will check my phone, or I will read this book, or I will look at the trees. It will not, the issue of hitting or missing, or being right or being wrong, will no longer be an issue.
How come it gives me a good feeling when I start running and in the last second I catch the bus?
Yeah.
And then I sit in the bus and I get, I did very good.
Yeah. And it comes at the expense of all the other moments.
That you blame yourself. Yeah. So that blaming and priding yourself or complimenting yourself, that is gone.
Yeah, you're at peace and in a situation in which you can help people that need your help, or do good things for yourself, or enjoy and be at peace, instead of I'm not saying it's better, but if you want to be a man of truth and a man of peace, then you want to acknowledge who is dreaming all this stuff and not blame yourself for the dreams.
Yeah.
You want to, and then you want to tell other people that, to reassure them and say to them, it's fine, this is a dream that we're dreaming together, it's fine, I will help you.
Yeah.
Then you will no longer be in the race of being, I want to be good, or I want to have the right results, but rather you will be able to help yourself and other people to solve real problems like hunger and poverty and war. They are real problems. Missing the bus, that's not a problem. Come on.
Well, for some people.
Be grateful that there's a bus.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So...
but Michael, it's not about accepting and rejecting all things. Or let's say, that's what Advaita teachers tell me. Start accepting how the circumstances are.
But they deny then, such teachers deny or ignore or fail to mention that you are the rejecter who needs to accept his rejections or his being the rejecter. So why go the roundabout way and lie about that and say, well, who makes a distinction between rejecting and embracing? Who makes the distinction? Oh, I made the distinction. Is there something outside of me that needs to be embraced or that can be rejected? Nah, that's just a story I tell myself, that these two are in conflict with each other. So a way to solve that, another way of solving that, would be to say rejecting and embracing are one together. Together they are one. And they reflect me, who is one. There's only one Michael Jacobs sitting here, not two to choose from. One who can reject and the other who can accept. No, there's one.
Yeah.
So I want to declare that rejecting and embracing or rejecting and accepting together are one. That's also a way to solve it.
Can you tell the example of the animals again? You told in a Dutch interview it made quite an impression on me about how birds fly in the sky, how animals go about, horses in the wild, and how they live their lives and how we do.
Well, of course, that's a story. It's not we have no way of checking if there are horses or birds. We don't know. They're part of our story.
Yeah.
Okay. If the bird would think that the air exists separate from itself, it would sit on the tree, on the branch, and it would not fly, because then it would perhaps need to file a flight plan or check the barometric pressure or whatever. But as we know birds do not wonder about the air. We can't do what they do. This is a dream. Okay? In our dream, birds who are heavier than air fly in the air. It's incredible. In our dream, they do this thing. Yeah. By simply doing this, and sometimes they don't do this at all. They just sit in a vortex of hot air, and they fly. It's amazing. It's an amazing metaphor. Now, instead of seeing their reflection and saying, "Wow, the way they fly through air is how we fly through time and space. Every minute we fly through another minute of imaginary time, and we it's no problem for us at all. The minutes pass, the centuries pass, the millennia pass, and we make no effort whatsoever. The same way as the birds. They fly in the air without any effort. Or that we say, wow, without knowing how, I can walk from one imaginary room to another imaginary room. If I would tell a tree that I walked from one imaginary place to another imaginary place, and if the tree could talk, it would say, how do you do that? You actually move from one place to another? I said, well, both places are imaginary. I imagine that they exist and that I can move. But in reality, I'm not moving at all. I'm just moving the picture of one room and replace it with a picture of another room. And I say, wow, you guys are sorcerers. You guys are, you are gods. Or if you would say to a rock, I moved my body today. I say, wow, how do you do that? You know, so we can use the metaphors of the trees or of the rocks or the birds to understand that we really tell stories. We generate problems and we create solutions for ourselves. That's all we need to learn from nature, because it's staring us in the face. The little horse is born, and after 10 minutes it starts walking.
Yeah.
We take 18 months.
Yeah.
You know, but a little horse does that. So we say, wow. Now, is there a real difference between 18 months and 10 minutes? No, because the difference between 18 months and 10 minutes is imaginary.
So if
imagined it.
So if we would agree that a baby could walk after 6 months, then that would be the case.
The difference between months and years and centuries is abstract. The difference only exists in our thinking, in our imagination. If you talk to a rock or to a cloud about time, they will say, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a story that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
This whole idea that there is that the moments in time are separate from each other cannot be proven. It's simply a story. Einstein said as much 100 years ago. Okay? People still need to let it sink in what he said. Time is a relative concept. Guess who is absolute when time is relative?
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who we are is absolute, unchangeable, solid.
Never born, never dies.
Never born, never dies. Okay? Even the concept of born and dying is, these are metaphors, really metaphors. And if we apply them in a correct way, we can comfort each other. We can, after somebody has died, just yesterday somebody that passed away in my family, we can comfort each other when we know that this is our story, this is our dream together. Then we can go and hug each other and say, I'm very sorry for your pain. I feel your pain is my pain. And things like that, which are true, because you're living in the same dream together, or you're dreaming the same dream together. And then you can solve things in the relationships, and you can solve the bigger problems when you know that, when you make it your practice to actually confirm, yes, this is my dream. Yes, this is my experience. Yes, this is my distinction, my fairy tale, my fantasy. But not just say it to be smart, but say it so that you can go to the next adventure, to solve the next problem, be available. All these good things. You know.
Mm-hmm. Are there any Advaita teachers or books you can recommend who point at this the same way as you just did? Or is it all, as you called in our Dutch interview, rubbish?
What is rubbish?
No, all those Advaita books and teachers. And
Well, the formula is this. You are the teacher whom you seek. Okay? The distance between the teacher and the student
mm-hmm.
is imaginary. I mean, here's the teacher,
Yeah,
here's the student.
yeah.
What is between them? How big is the distance?
You could say 20 centimeters.
Yeah.
That's what the mind says.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference between 20 centimeters and 50 kilometers?
Quite a lot.
Yeah, but is it solid? Is it a concrete difference?
No, it's a concept. Okay. We agreed
It's
on.
a concept. So the distance between the teacher and the student is conceptual,
Mm-hmm.
is imaginary,
Yeah.
is illusory. Okay, so they are like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
The question is not, am I the teacher or am I the student? The question is, who makes the distinction? And then, you're making, at that very moment, you make the distinction. Then you understand that there is only one teacher who has something to teach to you.
And that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you outsource that, if you
Yeah.
give that task to somebody else and tell him, how do you do this, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps after 10 minutes, you will reverse roles. You say, sir, you're deceiving yourself. Let me tell you how it is. It's the other way around.
Sometimes I hear we are all each other's teachers.
That's legitimate to say or think or believe that.
Mm.
But there is no fixed role pattern to play.
Mm-hmm.
The people, there is this saying in the English language, you teach best what you most need to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is why people who enjoy teaching remain teachers. Year after year after year, they teach the same stuff, but they enjoy the fun of the students understanding what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They have immense satisfaction because the gap between them and the students, between the older teacher and the younger students, is imaginary.
Yeah.
They are teaching themselves.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah. So when I'm making love to a woman, I'm making love to myself.
An aspect of yourself.
This body.
An aspect. If you identify with male,
Yeah.
then you're only half.
Yeah.
There's no male without female. It's a concept.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to join the other half. Now, that's in theory that goes very well, but in practice it's deceptive, because you will start to manipulate one another. You will think, I'm the male and she is the female. Nah, you both have male-female characteristics, and you want to have a game, a dance, a play together in which you mirror one another, your male and female characteristics, your male
dominance,
power to decide and to move ahead and to lead the herd, and your female ability to be compassionate and to nourish and to nurture and to care.
Yeah.
You want to combine them. You want to have a dance in which you take one step forward and one step backward, and that's how you want to do your relationship. But the word relationship itself is already it's like consciousness, reality. All these words betray that they're mental concepts, they're abstractions. There is no such thing as a relationship, which you could buy or sell or whatever. It's an idea.
Yeah.
It's perhaps better to say, I am lovingly related to this person. That is how I relate to this person. Than to say I have a relationship as if it is a thing.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't. It isn't.
But that's how we go into the world. We make it into stuff. Huh? We try to make it things concrete.
We deceive ourselves.
This is a couch to sit on.
Yeah, we deceive ourselves. Again, it's not bad to tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to tell fairy tales to one another. That's fine. The birds talk to each other. You know, the dogs bark. That's fine. But when we have unresolved problems, and we don't use our creative imagination to solve these unresolved problems, then we're not really good to ourselves. That's why it says. That's why it's written. Do not bear a grudge against the people of your nation, but love your neighbor as yourself. It's a basic thing. Love your neighbor. Come on. Don't judge yourself or judge the other. It will, in the end, it will end up as a war.
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
No.
You don't want to suffer. So Scripture doesn't talk about relationship. It talks about relating. How to relate to the animals, how to relate to the women, how to relate to the men, how to relate to your friends, how to relate to your animals. Relating. Because guess what? You and they together are one.
Yeah.
They hold you a mirror. You are related to them. So try to actively relate to them, behave towards them as somebody who is related. It's not I am here and a tree whose oxygen, which is exhaust gas. You know, the tree has an exhaust gas. We call it oxygen. We breathe, we inhale the exhaust gas of the tree.
So the tree is our relative.
Immediate relative.
Yeah.
Without him, we couldn't sit here for a minute.
But we only call our blood relatives our relatives. Huh?
It's because we think, we mistakenly think that we are separate, not only from each other, but also from nature, from the water which we drink, or from the fruit that we eat. We're not. So we are now in the beginning stage of understanding that all this is our dream, all this separation is our dream, and that to wake up from this nightmare, all we need to do is to acknowledge, to confirm, this is our dream. Then it evaporates. Oh, if I'm related to the tree, if I need the tree, you know, and if the tree needs me, then I better take care of it lovingly. If I'm related to the animals, if I'm related to the water, I better take care of them. That is how you get to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
In practice, because you understand, wow, they need me as much as I need them.
Yeah.
We are part of one dream, not two. It's not me here and there is nature, where me is here and there are the people.
Yeah.
And there is only one way to convey this, to bring this message to each other. It's by talking. You can't sit here and say, I will meditate about it. I will think about it. No, you need to teach it. You need to speak about it and say, hey, we are related to each other. Let's show this in our behavior. It will benefit both of us.
So it's not about undoing separation, it's about discovering that we are all related.
Confirming. Because there's no question about it.
Okay, but when you see it, is that enough confirmation, or do you have to confirm it day after day after day?
In your actions, in your words. Yeah. Until there will be peace. Until we're back in the Garden of Eden. You know, it's a metaphor. Until we have undone or undreamt all this nightmare that we build together. I'm not saying that for everybody it's a nightmare, but for many, many, many of us it is a daily nightmare. And since they are in our dream, we have the honor and the privilege of solving that nightmare, bringing it to an end. It's an honor and it's a privilege. And if we don't do that, we will continue to be very, very unhappy and dissatisfied. Because we are treating ourselves or our neighbor or our children or the next generation in a bad way. That doesn't leave you satisfied.
Yeah.
So it's talking about it, it's having interviews like this, it's talking to people, it's taking on projects, saying, hey, I see here this and that in my town or in my society or in my country or my world. I want to take that on. I want to adopt that problem as mine.
Because it is yours.
But I will act as such, that it is mine. I will not pretend that it's separate from me.
It's outside of you. Yeah.
In order to solve it, you have to say, this is mine. You collect a few people around you and you say, shall we, in the coming 5 months, solve this problem? And then when that's done, you collect another group of people and you say, shall we solve that problem? Because there's no problem without a solution. We make, who makes a distinction between problem and solution? So it's a new way of thinking. That's how you could do.
Yeah.
The who question, confirming this is mine, that problem is mine, that issue is mine, is a proactive, mature way, rather than saying, this is an illusion, it doesn't exist, or we don't exist, or there is no universe. What does that solve?
It gives it sometimes some relief for me.
Momentary.
Yeah. But you talk about this also with people when you're waiting on the bus, or when you're in a cafeteria, or in a
place. Line in the supermarket. Yes.
But how do people react?
No, but not in this long way.
Oh, okay, yeah. But can you give an example how you bring about this?
This is a long wait, somebody says.
Yeah.
I say, well, long doesn't really exist separate from short.
But how do people react? They can...
It does something.
Yeah?
I don't...
Just one-liners.
Speaking the truth is very satisfying. Much more than saying a lie.
Yeah, of course.
So, do it.
Yeah. Just speak the truth.
The birds have no such thing as lying to each other. They are not polite either.
No.
They say it as it is. They have no such thing as lying or being polite or not saying the truth or hypocritical behavior. They don't have that.
Yeah.
Why, when we see that it doesn't really solve anything or it doesn't make us happy, why continue doing that? Speak the truth. Long is not separate from short. Maybe for the rest of his life, that person says, wow, that problem's solved.
Yeah.
Next time I wait in line, I will read something, or I will look at the at the other people.
Yeah.
Have fun. Oh, I had a lot of fun today. I waited in line.
Yeah. Cool. We did an interview in Dutch. People can watch that also. You do live sessions on Facebook sometimes. Is it in Dutch or in English?
English mostly. Yeah.
Mostly. How can people find you, Michael, who want to read more about you or get in touch with you?
You can be my friend on Facebook.
Okay.
Michael Jacobs, Amsterdam.
Yeah. Thanks again for this great talk.
You're welcome.
Yeah.